Hey everybody, Elizabeth here, Dandysoap DIY, and today we are going to update this 4th of July wreath that I made last year. And I have a blank space here, and I'm thinking July 4th USA, so we're going to use Dollar Tree 4th of July and spruce it up. So before we get started, guys, this is the mesh that is the red, white, and blue. And basically, this is one of the larger 14-inch wire reefs. And a lot of times Dollar Tree has them. This is a Dollar Tree. And the mesh here is the broad that I got from Walmart on clearance. So I have tied it here with chenille stems. And then what you'll do is you'll drop down and you'll do your next. So you'll go crossways here and then down. And you'll do that all the way around. Then when you come back, you will actually tie it here and around. So you're just doing a diagonal tie. So you'll start in the front, go to the back, and go all the way around. Then when you get back to where you started, you go to the top and then diagonal across to the bottom. Then I just stuck the flags in there, and I will fix these whenever we go to spruce this up and update it. Here's the back so that you can see how that's done. So you're going inside your bracket. You'll start either, if you start at the inner, then you will tie it at the top of the next bracket. And when you get around, you'll go the opposite. You'll do the upper and then crisscross it to, or bring it over to the bottom. And all you're doing is bunching those up. You're not twisting them or anything. You're just bunching it and tying it. Bunching it and tying it. Bunching it and tying it. And you'll just keep going till you get your whole reef done for the mesh. So I've got the USA sign from Dollar Tree. And I propose painting these with a coat of white. Now, I am using the Americana paints by Deco Art. Guys, you will love these because if you like things to look rustic and old and primitive, these are the perfect colors. Now I'm going to use primary blue, Napa red, and the light buttermilk. So I'm basically not going to even try to scrub this glitter off. I'm just going to paint over it. So basically begin disassembling that signage from the Dollar Tree and just remove the ribbon from off of it. It just pulls loose. And I did put a base coat of the Waverly chalk paint. And the reason I do that is the chalk paint is really good as a leveler. It will kind of settle into those cracks and all that glitter. And that makes applying your acrylic paint really, really smooth in place of Mod Podge. And I just went ahead and colored those. I did my U, S, and my A. Now I'm working on the hat. And the hat you're going to have to take a little more time on. And to be honest with you guys, you can actually use the paint markers to do this if you don't feel comfortable using a paintbrush. And I worked on this hat. I was very, very slow about it. Took my time and made sure that I got all of that color exactly where I wanted it and used the original lines as my guide. Now you'll see here that I'm going to be using a paint marker, and I'm going to be doing my highlighting and so forth once I get my hat painted. And I did put a base coat on that hat in the background. Now right here, I'm just vintaging, aging it by using a lighter color to kind of just rub over it, dry brush it to give it that vintage look and kind of old-fashioned it a little bit because I wanted it to look rustic. Now here I'm using the paint marker, and I'm only putting the black line on one side. Pick one side or the other for your shading. So you'll see me using the black magic marker on the right side, and I later go with the white magic marker, paint marker rather, and I do the left side, and that will give it contrast so it looks like natural shading. And you can see here, just take your time. Don't get in no rush, and just put those little details in. Now it's time to start working on the letters. And once again, using the paint markers, coloring the letters in, and then I go back with a white paint marker and shade the side and make it kind of blocky, dimensional. And I used a chalk marker to make this star, guys. And I worked on that star extensively, and I even used silver. Now we're going to take those wide paint sticks, or those wooden sticks, tongue depressors, and we are going to miter our sides by using a pencil to draw a line, and then take a pair of scissors, and it will cut right off. Just go real slow, use a sharp pair of scissors, and then just lay those together, and then that way you can miter the next one on top of the other. And I just marked it with a pencil right here, as you can see. And now I'll make that line real even and straight, and then I'm going to cut that off. Now once I cut that off, guys, I went back with the buttermilk and I painted that number 4 before I glued it. So you'll paint that in real good, paint all your sticks, and I only did the front sides of them. And then I took and glued them together with my hot glue gun, and that holds really good too, guys, on the wood. And then I'll take the black paint marker again, and I'm going to write in July. And I just take and accentuate my letters a little bit with little dashes at the top and at the bottom corners where the letters begin and where they end. And that gives them that old-fashioned vintage lettering. Now it's time to do some dry brushing on it, and I always keep a little bit of black or ink watered down, and I'll tap it on my paper, and then I'll just brush it all about the edges and all about my wood, and that gives it, once again, a distressed vintage look, because I'm going for that rustic old appeal. I want this to look like the old lettering from, the primitive time. And I did the hat, and I also went back and I did all of my squares too, the US and the A. Now, the reason why I'm bringing you through this is so that yours will look the same as mine if that is the vintage look you're going for. I truly like the vintage because I use this for 3 holidays: Veterans Day, Memorial Day, and 4th of July. And I'll reuse all of this. Now, I got this ribbon on clearance. So I've had it quite a while. It's different colors, but I got to make a bow from the Reef. So, since this is not wire edged, we're going to have to do some making here. So I'm going to take the cardboard off of a used ribbon spool. We just need that as our surface to glue our ribbon to, because it's not wired edge, so we're going to have to kind of do it the old-fashioned way of per se making it. So this is how it works. You definitely want your glue gun. You'll have your ribbon and have you a nice sharp pair of scissors. And basically you're going to take your loops and decide on how far out you want this to go. So let me cut this. So basically each strip is going to be about 9 inches. And most time, like this one is 1.5 inch by 9 feet. So there's 4 ribbon. So you can kind of take your disc if you're going to try and see how many you're going to need to go around it. And I'm just laying this out here, staging it, guys, because the in-betweens I'm not really worried about. We're going to figure it out as we go along. Okay, at least 3 more. It's probably going to be about 7 to make this circle the first time. and then you'll take and put another piece of strip of glue and just bring your ribbon together. Okay, so now at this point you can decide if you want to put another layer of that there, or if you just want to put a different ribbon. So I'm seeing how that's going to look if I just put. So let's go one more round with this ribbon. Once again, you might want to make these an inch shorter. So rather than doing 9 inches, we will do 8 inches. So basically you're going to do the same with this one. We know at least one of these has to be 8 inches. And we're just building this out until we get it where we need it. Alright. So let's do 5. You'll do 5. We're going to do these at 6. Okay, now we're going to do this white and blue star, and we got to go in between, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, so 5 of those as well, and we may have to do more. These are much narrower, and just checking to see what size we're going to need. Okay, we're going to do 10 of these, and we're going to make these at around 5.5 inches. So it's only a 1/2 inch difference per se. I believe our last ones we did were 6. So these we will do at 5.5. And as I said, do 10 of these. We've got to double them up in order to fill in and make it more full. This one goes. Now we're going to do 2 per section. So in this one place it might seem a little bit snugger. So now we have successfully made our button, and we're going to place chenille stems to the back of our pieces, our campaign button pinafore, and as well as the USA and the Uncle Sam's hat. And they'll make attaching it to the reef very easy, including this 4, which I chenille stemmed directly into the mesh. I just made them short, and that way they would be tucked and concealed, and it wouldn't damage or pick the mesh. And that way I could get that number 4 centered in that reef as large as it is without destroying my reef or picking the mesh. So we finally got it made, guys. Got all the parts on there. and I'll hang it up and show it to you. But our ribbon button that we made is absolutely stunning, and it just really sets this wreath off. It really does. It, even though those colors are a little bit brighter than the ones on here, it just like, so 4th of July, right? It just does something for it. Okay, let me hang her up and we'll get some better shots going here. I'm proud as punch, guys. We have reworked the Dollar Tree sign, the USA Sam's hat, giving it that rustic vintage appeal. We made our number 4 out of the large sticks. And we did our clearance ribbon, making a campaign button pinafore. This is another way you can use your ribbon if you don't have wire. And we reused the top of a spool, the stars from the Dollar Tree Kids Puzzles. And if your mesh gets dirty, you can always spray it down and then just wash it with water, and that gets it cleaned back up. The flags and the mesh, guys, did come from Dollar Tree. They don't have them this year. They have the flags, but you can get the mesh from Walmart. Now, we can reuse this wreath over and over. We can also use all the pieces. We do have 3 wonderful holidays. We have Veterans Day, Memorial Day, and 4th of July. So you can put your wreath back out, or you can use your pieces on other things for year-round decor. I hope you all enjoyed it. Please join the channel. If you're a new subscriber, hello. And for those who haven't, please do, because every week I put up 1 to 2 videos showing you how to make some neat things for your home, family, or friends, or decorating ideas, as well as grooming some plants. So you guys let off lots of fireworks. God bless you all. Have lots of barbecues with your family and friends. Until the next DIY, this is Elizabeth, over and out. Bye, guys. Happy 4th.